Hi everyone, for this lesson I'll show you an example of an exponential growth model. So let's think back to an exponential function written in the form y equals ab to the x power. Now this will model an exponential growth when b is greater than 1. Alright, so an example of that is when we'll take a look at a compound interest problem. Okay, so the formula that you will need to find the balance in a compound interest problem is capital A is equal to capital P in parentheses 1 plus r divided by n, close parentheses, and that's raised to the n times t power. Okay, so you can think of the capital A as the y and the capital P as the A, and the 1 plus r divided by n, think of that as your B, and the x is the n times t. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the compound interest formula. The capital A is the balance, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. And the P, or the capital P, is the principal amount, right? What you start out with, how much you're gonna deposit in the bank initially. And the R is the annual interest rate, right? Make sure you express that as a decimal, right? And the N is the number of times interest is compounded per year, right? So it's this guy here. So for example, if it's compounded monthly, N would be 12. Now T is the time in years. Okay, so that's this T here. One last thing, this N here is the same thing as this N, right? And it's the number of times interest is compounded per year. Alright, so let's take a look at an example. Let's say you deposited $1,000 into a bank account and the bank gives you 5% interest compounded quarterly. Okay? And the question is, what will the account balance be after 6 years? Alright, so what we want to do is determine what the capital P is. Since you deposited $1,000, the capital P is this here. Okay? And the interest rate, it's 5%. Make sure you convert that into a decimal. So it'll be 0.05, right? And that will be the interest rate. And it's compounded quarterly. So we know that there are 4 quarters in a year. So this will give us N is equal to 4. So the only thing that's missing is the T, which is the time. Since it's stated in the question, you want to find the account balance after 6 years. The T is going to be 6. Alright, so now we can write down the formula, which is this here, and we can plug in the numbers, right? So A is going to equal P, but P is the 1,000, so let's put that in there. And it's 1 plus the interest rate, in this case it's 0.05, and that goes there, over or divided by the N. N we determined to be 4, so let's plug that in there, and it's raised to the 4 times T, and T happens to be 6, so let's plug that in there, and now we have it. We have the formula with the letters replaced with the known values, right? So capital A, which is the account balance, is equal to 1,000 times, in parentheses, 1 plus 0.05 divided by 4, and that's being raised to the 4 times 6 power. So now we're ready to reduce it. capital A is equal to 1,000 times this whole thing inside the parentheses is just 1.0125, and 4 times 6 is the 24, and this reduces to approximately 1,347 and 35 cents. Okay, so after 6 years, your initial amount of $1,000 increased to this amount here, which is $1,347.35. And we're done, and we're happy.